Good morning, everyone. Before we get underway, I would like to take a moment to extend, on behalf of Toyota, our heartfelt sympathy to all those who are affected by the recent tragedies in Paris and beyond. Let us join together in hoping that life will return to normal as soon as possible. I would like to thank all of you for coming here at this early hour. And I would like to extend a special welcome to Mr. Mitsunori Torihara, Chairman of the Japanese Paralympic Committees, to Mr. Yasushi Yamawaki, Governing Board Member of the International Paralympic Committee and President of the Japanese Paralympic Committees, to Mr. Tsunekazu Takeda and Mr. Ichiro Kono, Vice President of the 2020 Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic Games in the Tokyo Organizing Committees, and to Paralympians, Mr. Shinji Negi and Ms. Aki Taguchi, Ms. Miki Matsue Mason, and Mr. Takeshi Sanada. Today, I would like to tell you about an exciting and important new partnership for Toyota with the International Paralympic Committee. It's an occasion that creates amazing opportunities for para-athletes everywhere to train, compete, and inspire the world. With us today is the IPC's President, Sir Philip Craven. Sir Philip, please. All yours.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ohayo gozaimasu. Toyoda-san, thank you so much for that introduction. And it really is a great pleasure for me to be here today with colleagues from the International Paralympic Committee, the Japan Paralympic Committee, Tokyo 2020, and of course, Toyota, to sign a document that will transform and enrich the lives of people all over the world. I'm delighted that Toyota will become a worldwide Paralympic partner through to 2024, which is a historic first for the Paralympic movement, bringing together the IPC, all the national Paralympic committees, and future Paralympic Games under one umbrella agreement. This morning, I'd like to spend some time explaining to you this agreement and how it will benefit the global growth and development of parasport and help the IPC to achieve its vision and its aspiration. At the IPC, we aspire to make for a more inclusive society for people with an impairment through parasport. This aspiration sits at the very heart of our recently published four-year strategic plan and is a statement of intent which we believe is achievable following the success of recent editions of the Paralympic Games. Today, the Paralympics are the world's third biggest sporting event in terms of ticket sales, and in our view, the world's #1 sporting event for driving societal change for the better of everyone. The London 2012 Paralympic Games attracted a record 2.8 million spectators, whilst a cumulative television audience of 3.8 billion watched in more than 100 countries. Next year's Games in Rio de Janeiro will be even bigger. These figures are relatively small, however, compared to the impact that the Paralympic Games have on society. Lord Coe, the chairman of London 2012, recently described the Paralympics as a piece of social engineering that went way beyond any legislation. And he was right. The performances of para-athletes lead to seismic shifts in attitudes towards people with an impairment, changes no other sporting event on this planet can deliver. Like Toyota, the IPC is a values-based organization. We have 4 of them, which are lived and expressed by para-athletes on a daily basis. The first is courage. Para-athletes, through their performances, showcase to the world what can be achieved when testing your body to the absolute limits. Determination is synonymous with never giving up, no matter what the obstacles might be, whilst para-athletes are naturals at inspiration. As role models, everything they do inspires others to believe that anything is possible. The final value is equality, or more particularly, equality of opportunity, whether that be in sport or in just day-to-day life. Paralympians, by their very nature, are fighters. They never give up, and these 4 values form the foundations of the IPC strategic plan for 2015 to 2018. The plan acts as a roadmap to the future for the whole Paralympic movement and features 3 key goals which aim to broaden the reach of the Paralympics, to grow parasport participation and events, and to further brand awareness. By achieving these 3 goals, we know the Paralympic movement's transformational legacy will be amplified. And that is why we are so excited by this new, oh, there I am, getting on a train. So excited by this new partnership with Toyota, which supports all levels of the Paralympic movement. Both the IPC and Toyota share a similar desire to enrich the lives of people through providing mobility for all. Mobility for all is essential for para-athletes to maximize their potential and pursue their dreams. Unlimited mobility for people with an impairment will increase the visibility of para-athletes in communities, helping to spread the unifying power of the Paralympic spirit. By uniting our shared passion for mobility for all, our partnership can act as a catalyst for greater social awareness, thus contributing to the development of a more equitable society with respect and equal opportunities for all. This brings me on to the Paralympic movement's vision, which is to enable para-athletes to achieve sporting excellence and inspire and excite the world. You could say the enable part reflects how the IPC, together with our national Paralympic committees, empower and mobilize individuals by giving them the opportunity to practice parasport. By doing so, we help them to develop their own lives and make them more fulfilling. Sporting excellence refers to the level each individual in parasport wishes to attain. Sport must be fun, and some sporting excellence is lowering a personal best or playing wheelchair basketball maybe once a week. But for others, it's Paralympic gold, and that's the ambition. Moving on to inspiring and exciting the world, well, I have to say, the first reaction people have when they see parasport for the first time is surprise. Maybe you were surprised by what you saw in that opening film. But once they've got over the initial shock of seeing a leg amputee run the 100 meters in 10.5 seconds, or a swimmer with no arms swim faster than they can, they are well and truly inspired and excited to see more. It is these 2 emotions that trigger attitudinal change. If you are inspired and excited by someone, you are far more likely to change your opinion of them. The one part of our vision we've yet to fully bring to life is the world. Although London 2012 raised the bar and Rio 2016 will follow suit next year, we've yet to truly inspire and excite the entire world. But I am confident that this change in 2020 will happen in 2020 when Tokyo stages the Paralympic Games. Ever since I met Prime Minister Abe, one day before the vote in Buenos Aires in 2013, I knew that he was inspired by the potential of the Paralympic Games in Tokyo and in Japan. I had the same feeling when I met with Minister Toshiaki Endo recently in London at the Rugby World Cup final, and I get the feeling stronger than ever today in the presence of Akio Toyoda, the president of Toyota. I think everyone involved in the organization of the 2020 Paralympic Games, from organizing committee staff to the sponsors, realizes the impact that they can have. You can feel it and you can tap into this energy. I am extremely excited that Toyota will be with us every step of the journey to Tokyo 2020 and beyond until at least the 2024 Paralympic Games. To finish, I'd just like to say that when I heard Mami Sato kick off the Tokyo 2020 presentation in 2013, I knew we were onto a good thing. And with great people such as Torihara-san and Yamawaki-san, president of the Japanese Paralympic Committee, and Akio Toyoda, on the ground here in Tokyo, I think we could be set for one of the greatest periods ever for the Paralympic movement, not just in Japan and Asia, but across the entire world. Arigato gozaimashita.
Thank you, Sir Philip. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are humbled and honored to announce today that Toyota will support Paralympic movement worldwide. Sir Philip has noted the importance of mobility is promoting social participation for people with an impairment. Unfortunately, we hear repeatedly about the problem that limit mobility in today's society. At Toyota, we are eager to help resolve those issues, especially when they create challenges that make life harder for people. We don't want mobility be an obstacle, but rather an opportunity for people to achieve their dreams. Let's not forget that the word move can mean stimulating emotions, as well as transporting people and goods. Our highest goal at Toyota is to make mobility a source of inspirations and a way to improve quality of life. Sir Philip, I have also heard you say that being a Paralympian means being a fighter and never giving up. We all face struggle in life, and all too often we lose that drive to fight, and we stop listening to the voice that tells us not to give up. What inspires me about all athletes, in fact, is how they find the strength to keep fighting. Back in 2011, I was in Thailand, dealing with the impact of the terrible flooding, and I had to miss the championship game for our women's softball team in Japan. The game had to go into extra innings after being tied with no runs. My heart sank when I heard that we gave up 2 runs in the top of the last innings, and I began to think about how I would help our players deal with the loss. Please take a look. But instead, we came back with 3 runs in the bottom of the evening and won the game. I'll never forget my excitement at that comeback victories. But what excited me more than winning the championship was the way that we won. No one gave up on the field, in the dugout, or in the stand. Everyone kept playing and kept cheering in the belief that we could win, that we would win. That was a difficult time for Toyota. We were hit hard, the Great East Japan earthquake and the flooding in Thailand. And that game reminded us that we can never give up. Our softball players wore the name Toyota on their chest as they competed for the championship. That day, their fighting spirit inspired us and brought closer together as a companies. Just as the softball players taught me to never give up, Paralympians are also an incredible source of strength and inspiration for people around the world. Paralympians fight every day and defy their perceived limitations and to have access to the same opportunities as everyone else. They also fight to give hope to those that support them. The fighting spirit the Paralympians show inspire deep, sincere respect in all of us, no matter where we are from. I completely understand what Sir Philip means when he says that para sports can bring us closer to one world, one dream, and one people. Through the Paralympic Games, we want to make the power of mobility and the power of sport available to all. We at Toyota, a global team of 340,000 people. And this is our moment to step up to the plate and make the most of our new role as a team member and supporter of the Paralympic movement. Together, I believe there's nothing we can't achieve. Thank you very much.
It will change our perception of the world.
I swim like 6 times a week. It's fun, it keeps me fit, and it gives me a chance to be like anybody else, really.
スポーツは人間関係や積極性を高めてくれたり、たくさんの人と話すのが好きになりました。
スポーツをやって変わったことは自分から行動を起こせるようになったこと。
When I was a kid, I was just sport mad. Everything that all the other kids wanted to do, I wanted to do.
I really want to get to the Paralympics.
I want to be a Paralympic champion.
パラリンピックはみんなの気持ちを一つにしてくれる存在です。
日の丸を背負っていっぱいの観客の人が見てる中でしてみたいなっていう思いがすごいあります。
パラリンピックとか日本の歴史に名を残せるようなことがやりたい。
もうパラリンピックはもう私にとってはもう絶対的存在で、絶対そこに行くために今もう練習を励んでるって言っても過言じゃないくらい。スポーツとは私を助けてくれた存在なので、スポーツは私にとって分身です。はい。そして今4年頑張ります。
続きまして
Continuing, we would like to hold the signing ceremony. Please bear with us as we prepare. Thank you. We will now like to begin the signing ceremony for the World Paralympic Partnership Sponsorship Agreement. Now we'd like to call upon the President of IPC, Sir Philip Craven, and also President of TMC, Mr. Akio Toyoda. Sir Philip Craven, Mr. Akio Toyoda, may we ask you to sign? The signing has been completed. With this, Toyota Motor Corporation has become a worldwide Paralympic partner. Continuing, we would like to receive questions from the floor. We will now make preparations. Please bear with us for a minute.
So, the question and answer session will be attended by the Sir Philip, as well as the Mr. Toyoda, the President CEO of Toyota. And when you ask a question, please identify your name and affiliation. And also, the time for this session is about 15 minutes to entertain questions. So we'd appreciate that you limit your question to just one question per each. So we will bring a microphone. So please raise your hand and identify your name when you speak to the microphone. Thank you. The gentleman, person to the right, please. Thank you. Miyamoto of Chunichi Shimbun newspaper company. My question is to the Sir Philip as well as to Mr. Toyoda. Mr. Toyoda, this time you became and signed this agreement to be a sponsor. What's the purpose of signing this agreement to be a sponsor? Because in Toyota, covers the professional sports teams and many sport teams and supporting amateur sports and so on. But your most main line of business is the automobile company. But what's the value of sports for your main line of business, automobile company? And then my question to Sir Philip is that now this agreement is signed. So what's the specific expectation from you to Toyota side, Toyota Motors? Thank you. Let me respond. Why Toyota decided to be a partner. First, in one word, through sports activities, we like to contribute to the society, serve for the society. That's the gist of it. Since the founding of the company, we suffered from many hardship and difficulties, but still, many people supported Toyota to become today's Toyota company. And so we were nurtured to be such a big company, and society supported us. Toyota would like to pay back to the society by contributing to the society. And in Olympic Games and the Paralympic Games, that we became the partners, and that's the significance. In the past, I was a quite active sports person, and I think I got the training through participating in sports activities. And after I became the president as well, not too many good things happened. I had to go through many hardships and difficulties as the CEO of TMC. Despite that difficulty, I had to sometimes smile, but I had to really suffer at heart. But actually, the sports teams of Toyota really gave me a spirit, cheered me up, especially athletes. And after the major earthquake in East Japan, they went to the area to try to cheer up the victims and sufferers of the disaster. And they said that they got really cheered up by meeting with the people who suffer from a natural disaster. In other words, actually the sports teaches us a lesson that we have to keep fighting, and then fighting spirit as well. We should never give up. That is a kind of spirit we learn. And Toyota has been trying to nurture human resources, and this is really linked to that human resource development as well. As a global Toyota, TMC, beyond the boundaries of the nation, that we should support the Paralympic Games and Olympic Games, which is suitable for global Toyota. It's one way to contribute globally in that sense.
Thank you for your question. I think that true partnership, as I know we have with Toyota, is based on similar values. Before we even think about money, there has to be this similarity between two organizations. And we have that very, very strongly here with our new partner and our new friends at Toyota. I think that coming back to your question with regard to, well, how can sport relate to a company that primarily manufactures motor vehicles? Well, you know, what is the spirit of a company like Toyota? What is the spirit of an organization like the International Paralympic Committee? You've heard what our values are. But I think that through sport, there can be this acquisition of life skills that are crucial to the world going forward. Already, Toyoda-san has mentioned the fighting spirit. But if we look at playing within the rules, playing within the rules is crucial for this world. And there's a lot of examples at the moment where people are definitely not playing within the rules. And when you don't, playing within the rules is the antithesis of war. There are no rules in war, but in sport you can be taught, you can pick up self-discipline. You can have fun. Why shouldn't you have fun? And smiles on your faces. It's tough fun at times, especially when you lose. But then you bounce back from the loss and you win again. Or maybe you don't, but you still learn, and you still get better and better at something. So I see a lot of similarities, and really at the back of our vision is to inspire and excite the world. I can tell you that I'm very excited this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, please. From the Nikkei, my name is Okudaira. I have a question to Sir Philip and also to President Toyoda. My first question to Sir Philip. To other similar partnerships, there's the financial companies and also electric appliance companies. Now the car company has been added. Why is it Toyota? Can you explain? And to President Toyoda, my question will be, for you have the well-being vehicles, welfare vehicles, and so there are some related areas in your business. But this time, by having a partnership, being a partner for the Paralympics, what do you think is the effect to your business or to the company itself? I think it's about the direction of this activity and the company directions. Can you explain?
Yes, well, I think, again, if I come back to the point I made before, yes, there are different types of manufacturing or different financial services credit cards, if we look at Visa. But the same principles running through our organization have to run through those organizations for it to be a true partnership. I think one of the great advantages of this Toyota sponsorship deal, this partnership, is the reach that we have around the world with over 170 national Paralympic committees and, of course, other members, regional organizations, international federations. And Toyota has a similar reach around the world, and so there's this great opportunity to develop partnerships within nations. And this is something we're really looking forward to. This is unique, this partnership. This is the first time that a top partner of the International Paralympic Committee will have this more localized influence as well as it being a worldwide influence. And so again, a unique partnership this morning.
Thank you. Now we have become the Paralympic partner, and Toyota's staff had been discussing and interviewing many related parties before reaching this agreement. And in those discussions, we heard that for Paralympians in their daily lives, when they go to have their sports activity, they have to take their own sporting tools. And mobility has been a common problem that has been heard many times. And those Paralympians, when they have said that they are very concerned when we are going to receive the foreign guests to this country for the sports games. That's the voices that we have also heard. And what hinders the transportation freedom will be including mobility and also the contact points with the persons with impairment. So persons without impairment sometimes do not know what are the points that we need to consider. And those are some voices we also has been heard. So for us, in another 100 years, for all of the industrial products, we want the car to be the beloved car, even if it is an industrial product. So we are now working on autonomous driving technologies and artificial intelligence as well. And with these kinds of research and development related to mobility, we want everyone to be able to enjoy the excitement, what we call wakudoki. So, and everyone needs to be able to have the freedom of mobility. That is our vision as a car company, and that is where we can contribute, we believe. In any case, for 2020 Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic Games, that will be our most closest goal. And we will be receiving support and cooperation from many people so that a seamless society that everyone can move around freely can be enabled by that timing.
Other questions, please? Ogawa of Tokyo Kotsu Shimbun, transport the paper. My question is to Mr. Toyoda. You have announced that the next generation taxi vehicle, which will have a universal design, the accommodation, so-called. During the Paralympic and Olympic Games, that the athletes and maybe the spectators, many people use that universal design vehicles or taxi. So what about the taxi industry's expectation? How are they responding to this vehicle or new taxi that you are supplying? And what's your outlook? Thank you. Yes, we are the taxi vehicle manufacturers. So the taxi companies have to buy our universal vehicle, otherwise it will not be popular. But when the landscape is determined by the taxis as well. Taxis are quite influential. For many years, the taxi companies are using our vehicles, but the design of the taxi and has to be maybe changed. That's the gist of this new project before the 2020. So the current design of taxi is difficult to accommodate the wheelchairs of the foreign the athletes and others with the big luggage and the orthotic devices. 100% convenience is not yet achieved. We have a room for improvement. So first we have to change the design, and then universal design has to be accommodated, and eventually maybe eco-friendly maybe that's too much what that we expect, but we have to look at reality and still make optimal design of a new design, which is currently we are working on. But taxi industry and we should work together, listening to their voices, so that we can expedite the promotion and use of this new taxi vehicle. But anyway, that for the Paralympic Games venues and Paralympians from the airport to the venue to the athlete village, the comfortable mobility should be achieved, and Tokyo should be #1 in terms of the best mobility for Paralympians. That's our target.
Taxis, and my experience in London with London taxis, even with a Toyota car, I would prefer not to drive in London, and I go by train to London. I jump on a train, jump off a train, then I get in a taxi, the same taxi as everybody else. So this that Mr. Toyoda said about universal design, it works. And also, it can be beautiful. You know, let's have beautiful things. We all want beautiful design that makes us feel good. Everybody wants to feel good with products. And don't think that because you use a wheelchair, for example, in hotel rooms, that a bathroom can't look good. It can look good. My wife is sick and tired of going in adapted hotel rooms where there's no room for her toiletries or anything like that. They only think of the wheelchair user. Let's get our young creative minds going, that we have universal design for everyone that everybody likes. And that's another reason why we're so pleased to be partnering with Toyota.
それでは予定の時間も参りましたので、
we would like to make this the last question since our time is almost up. From Toyo Keisai, my name is Yamada. To Sir Philip and also President Toyoda, I have one question each. To Sir Philip, for autonomous driving, 2020 Games expects to see a certain amount of automatic driving cars. That's one target that Toyota has mentioned. And especially for Paralympians, I think autonomous driving, rather than us without impairments, has more significance for Paralympians. So do you have any expectations for the 2020 Games having a lot of autonomous driving technologies? And for President Toyoda, you talked about never giving up, being at the batter box challenging. You have been emphasizing a lot of the spiritual aspects. But can you a little talk about the background of what you have mentioned? Especially recently, you have been really emphasizing the spiritual aspects, and what is the reason why in your recent interviews that you're emphasizing that point?
Well, autonomous driving, I'm not sure maybe it has more of an application, but I love driving. And I've been driving cars since I was, how old was I? 17, and I had my accident when I was 16. So I never experienced driving a car without hand controls. But and when I was younger, I liked driving pretty fast, I can tell you. And I've learned a little bit now I've got older. So autonomous driving, if that means I can't have my hands on the steering wheel and I can have a drink or have my lunch as the car goes along, well, maybe I'll learn about that in time. And I'm not going to go against my newfound friend, Mr. Toyoda, and say that would not be for me. But I would need convincing of that, because I love to have my hands on the wheel, my finger on the accelerator, not too much on the brake, and driving along.
And can I talk a little bit about the autonomous driving portion too? For the purpose of autonomous driving is safety. Safety is our utmost purpose. It's to transport people from point A to point B. That will be our utmost target. And the autonomous driving that car companies think is not a driverless driving. We still want to keep the excitement of driving, and with convenience and safety, we want to be able to secure mobility. And also the freedom of the driver should not be taken away. So that is our understanding of autonomous driving that Toyota is thinking about. And as you have asked in your question, why is it that recently in my press conferences and interviews I'm emphasizing the spiritual aspects? I think it's because the distance between you and me has become closer between the press and myself. And because we're closer in distance, I think my real feelings are coming out in these kinds of opportunities. Especially, you always look for results. But even if we do our best, and even though we always say that we will achieve sustainable growth, but it is not always the case that we will achieve growth. Sometimes we reverse. So I want you to understand what happens. But I want to show that I am a fighter. I have the spirit of fighting that based on the rules, I am fighting. So I wanted to express myself, whereas with the spirit of fighters, we're making an effort, and we wanted to ask sincerely for your understanding and cooperation. I think that is the feeling behind my comments on emphasizing more of the spiritual aspects. So going forward, I want to be able to speak my true feelings, so I ask you to give good questions. Thank you. So with that, we'd like to end the Q&A session. Thank you very much. We would like to have a photo session. We will now make the preparations. Thank you.
ではスチールのカメラの皆様ご準備をお願いします。ペン記者の方もどうぞ前の方へお越しください。先ほど申し上げた通り、スチールをまずやらせていただきます。その後ムービーさんになります。スチールさんは終わられましたら一旦おしゃがみいただければと思います。ご準備をお願いします。
フォトセッションには国際パラリンピック委員会 CEO
少々お待ちくださいね。
シャビ・ゴンザレス様、日本パラリンピック委員会会長鳥原光則様、日本パラリンピック委員会委員長国際パラリンピック委員会理事山脇康様にもご参加賜ります。
はい、よろしいでしょうか。ではまずスチールです。前方スチールの中央の方をご覧ください。センターです。中央をご覧ください。はい、中央よろしいでしょうか。それではすみません、皆様向かって左側ですね、レフサイドです。左側に少し、はい、目線をお願いします。お声掛けもお願いします。笑顔でお願いいたします。左側よろしいでしょうか。では今度向かって逆ですね、右側ですね、こちらに目線をお願いいたします。敵意をお声掛けください。右側よろしいでしょうか。では最後に、もう一度センターですね、中央に向かって目線をお願いいたします。はい、よろしいでしょうか。ではすいません、スチールカメラの皆様しゃがんでいただくか、お席お戻りいただいてすいません。はい、そのまま皆様後方のムービーカメラになります。左手から右手の方に目線を送っていただけると、大変幸いでございます。奥側のカメラです。笑顔でお願いいたします。 ムービーさんいかがでしょうか。よろしいですか。はい、ありがとうございます。
それでは続きまして、クレイバン会長、豊田社長のお二人で行います。ゴンザレス様、鳥原様、山脇様、ありがとうございました。ご講談をお願いいたします。
そのまますいません、スチールさん、最後お時間作りますので、そのままムービーやらせてください。恐れます。先にムービーカメラを撮らせていただければと思います。じゃあ、すみません、お二人、また続きで後ろのムービーカメラの方に目線をお願いいたします。ムービーさんいかがでしょうか。よろしいですか。はい、ありがとうございます。では、すみません、お待たせしました。スチール、ごめんなさい。はい。ごめんなさい。このポーズもいただきます。ムービーさんいかがでしょうか。よろしいですか。よろしいですか。はい、ありがとうございます。じゃあ、お待たせしました。最後、スチールです。じゃあ、そのままのポージング。まず、じゃあ、センターカメラです。センターよろしいですか。ではちょっと向かって左手に目線を、左側ですね。はい。はい、左よろしいですか。すみません。では向かって右側ですね。今度逆ですね。こちら側です。はい。お願いいたします。右側よろしいですか。じゃあ、最後センター戻して、こちらで最後になります。はい、よろしいでしょうか。はい、ありがとうございます。
はい、以上で終了とさせていただきます。クレイバン会長、豊田社長、ご講談ください。以上をもちまして発表会を終了させていただきます。本日はお忙しい中、どうもありがとうございました。